Welcome to Baugan Inglés 4.0, the radio show with Kyle Miller. Following class by class, step by step, the material of Baugan Inglés 4.0 on Aprende Inglés TV. Class 176. Let's go! Beginner. All right, friends, welcome back to the program. Welcome to class number 176. And as always, we will begin today with a little review of yesterday's class. Yesterday, we were talking about the verb to park, aparcar. And we practiced with some different prepositions, including near, cerca de, near. It's difficult to park near the Plaza Mayor. It's even difficult to park near my house. A lot of people have trouble parking. They have trouble parking near my house because there's a lot of traffic and it's difficult to find a parking place near my house, cerca de. Now we have next to, al lado de. Next to, we also say beside, al lado de, beside. Yes, so beside, it's difficult to park beside my house. It's also difficult to park opposite my house, enfrente de, opposite. So we have a street on the other side of the street. That would be opposite my house. I live opposite a park. There's a park on the other side of the street. I live opposite the park. We also have in front of, which is delante de. I live near the park. Well, I live opposite the park. I also live in front of the park, I could say. Delante del parque. So, behind my house, there is another block of buildings. There are other buildings behind, detrás de. So, él aparcó su coche enfrente de la oficina cuando fue a trabajar. He parked his car opposite the office when he went to work. ¿Y tú? ¿Aparcas tu coche enfrente de la oficina cuando vas a trabajar? Do you park your car opposite the office when you go to work? Do you? No, I don't park my car opposite the office when I go to work. I don't park my car opposite the office when I go to work. Ella aparcó su coche delante del mío. She parked her car in front of mine. She parked her car in front of mine. So remember, we have near, cerca de, next to, al lado de, opposite, enfrente de, in front of, delante de, behind, detrás de. So remember, opposite. Remember, in front of significa delante de, and opposite is enfrente de. Okay? All right, let's move on and practice with a structure here. Questions, do you know? So here, indirect questions. This is very important. Do you know if I eat lunch at home? Do you know if I eat lunch at home? No, I don't know if you eat lunch at home. I don't know. Do you know if my brother lives in Canada? No, I don't know if your brother lives in Canada. Now we have a similar form with do you mind? If, te importa, si. Do you mind? Do you mind if I call you next week? No, I don't mind if you call me next week. I don't mind. Do you know if I have a car? No, I don't know if you have a car. Do you know if David works on Fridays? No, I don't know if David works on Fridays. I don't know. Do you know if Fitz has a roommate? No, I don't know if Fitz has a roommate. Do you know, well, yesterday I told you about Toronto's subway system. Do you know if Toronto has a subway system? Yes, Kyle, I know. I know if it has a subway system. Yes, it does. In fact, it does. I know that I know that it has a subway system. Yes, Toronto has a subway system. Do you mind if I use a red pen instead of a blue one? A red pen instead of a blue one? Do you mind? No, Kyle, I don't mind if you use a red pen instead of a blue one. Do you mind if I talk a little faster? No, I don't mind if you talk a little faster. Do you mind if I sit in a different chair tomorrow? No, I don't mind if you sit in a different chair tomorrow. I don't mind. It won't bother me. I don't mind. I don't mind. Okay, very good. Let's move on now and take a look at our word of the day. Word of the day. All right, our word of the day today is actually a few words. Prepararse para. To get ready for. To get ready for. To prepare for something. To get ready for it. Ask me how long it takes me to get ready for this class. Kyle, how long does it take you to get ready for this class, for this radio show, for this program? It takes me about an hour. I prepare the material. I create questions and answers. I review the books. And I have to come to the studio. It takes me a while to get ready for this class. How long does it take you to get ready for work? How long does it take you? It takes me 40 minutes to get ready for work. To prepare yourself for something, to get ready for it. So, what do you do in the morning to get ready for work? Personally, I shower. I have to usually iron a shirt in the morning or the night before. I iron a shirt. I have breakfast. I pack my bag. And, I get dressed. All of these things are part of the process of getting ready for, to prepare for, to get ready for. Get ready for work. Prepararse para, to get ready for. Okay, are you ready to move on? Are you ready? ¿Estás listo? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you ready? Or are you still getting ready? I'm ready. Let's move on. Let's move on into the new material here for class number 176. And we have the structure that we just saw, really. Do you know if? But now, I would like you to ask me the questions. So, do you know if plus subject and verb? Sabes si más sujeto más verbo, ¿vale? Ask me if I know if your mother lives in Madrid. Kyle, do you know if my mother lives in Madrid? No. No, I don't know if your mother lives in Madrid. I don't know. Ask me if I know if your uncle is Spanish. Kyle, do you know if my uncle is Spanish? No, I don't know if your uncle is Spanish. Ask me if I know if Montreal has a subway system. Remember yesterday, I told you about the subway system in Toronto, Canada. Also, recently I discussed how we say Toronto, Ontario. In North America, we typically, because the countries are very big, we usually say the name of the city and the name of the province in Canada, or the name of the state. We say Washington, D.C., Toronto, Ontario, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Orlando, Florida, San Diego, California, okay, Richmond, Virginia, for example, because there are probably 10 different cities named Richmond in the United States. You can't say Richmond, USA, because you have to say Richmond, Virginia, because there are probably many cities named Richmond in the United States, right? So here, Montreal, Quebec. Ask me if Montreal has a subway system. Or ask me if I know. Kyle, do you know if Montreal has a subway system? Yes, I do. I know. So now ask me directly. Kyle, you know the answer. So Kyle, does Montreal have a subway system? Yes, it does. Montreal has a subway system. Ask me if I know if Chicago is in the north or the south of the United States. Kyle, do you know if Chicago is in the north or the south of the United States? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, ask me directly. The direct question. Kyle, is Chicago in the north or the south of the United States? It's in the north. Ask me if I know if it is in Michigan. Kyle, do you know if it's in Michigan? Yes, I do. So ask me if it's in Michigan. Kyle, is it in Michigan? No, it isn't. Chicago isn't in Michigan. Ask me if it is in Illinois. Kyle, is it in Illinois? Yes, it's in Illinois. Do you know if it's in Illinois? Yes, I know if it's in Illinois. Is it in Illinois? Yes, it's in Illinois. Ask me if I know if Ronaldo will keep playing for Real Madrid next year. Kyle, do you know if Ronaldo will keep playing for Real Madrid next year? No, I don't know. I don't know if he'll keep playing for Real Madrid next year. I don't know what his plans are. I haven't talked to him. I don't know. I don't know what his plans are. Okay? Ask me if I know if Alberto will be here next week. Kyle, do you know if Alberto will be here next week? Yes, I know if he'll be here next week. Do you know? Yes, I do. Okay, ask me directly. Kyle, will Alberto be here next week? The direct question. Yes, Alberto will be here next week. He'll be here. I know he'll be here. I'm sure he'll be here. He has a lot of work to do. Okay. All right, let's move on now and take a look at our vocabulary of the day. Vocabulary of the day. Okay, it is time for the vocabulary of the day. Our 5 words of vocabulary. The first word, equipaje. Equipaje. This is baggage. Baggage. Now, when you're traveling, you maybe carry a lot of baggage. We also have the term luggage, which includes suitcases and bags that you bring with you to carry all of your belongings. Luggage. Which relates to the verb to lug. To lug something is to carry something that's very heavy, and it's not a good experience carrying it. Oh, I had to lug this bag all the way from Madrid. I lugged it around the airport, then the other airport, then I changed, then I lugged it home. I had to lug it everywhere, to lug, to carry something very heavy, and it's an undesirable thing. This word expresses that it is not fun to carry this thing. But we have luggage. Luggage helps you lug your belongings, to carry it. But equipaje, we typically say baggage. Baggage. Menos que. Menos que is less than. Less than. Less than. Perdedor. Perdedor. Loser. He lost, therefore he is the loser. And the opposite of the loser is the winner. The winner. The winner and the loser. Quizás. Quizás, we say perhaps. Perhaps. Now we usually say maybe. Tal vez. Quizás. Maybe. Perhaps. I would recommend that you use the word maybe. In fact, I almost never use the word perhaps. I would say that it is a problem. If you consider perhaps and maybe as being 50% of the time each, then you're wrong. because English speakers, native English speakers, use the word maybe probably 50 times more often than perhaps. If I take all the occasions that I use maybe and perhaps, if I take the last 100 occasions, 98 of them are maybe. 2 of them are perhaps. I usually only use perhaps when I'm telling my students to stop using it. Please stop saying perhaps. That's the only time I really use it. Perhaps is very formal. Perhaps is more formal. Perhaps is more respectful. It's good in writing, but it's not nearly as common as the word maybe. Maybe. Okay? Bastante. Bastante. Quite. Quite. Oh, he's quite good. It's bastante bueno. Quite good. Bastante bien, bastante bueno. Quite good. All right, now it is time to move on to the last portion of our class. We have ocio. So here, entertainment. What's going on? What's happening here for entertainment? What's playing? Here we have different words. So imagine the cinema. We can say, what's playing at the cinema? What's on? What's on at the cinema in Madrid? Oh, there are a lot of movies on right now at the cinema in Madrid. What's on at the cinema in Barcelona? Oh, there are a lot of movies on at the cinema. Ask me what's on at the cinema in Toronto. Kyle, what's on at the cinema in Toronto? Oh, I think the same movies are on at the cinema in Toronto as at the cinema in Madrid. More or less. More or less. So what's on? What's playing, you can also say. Now we have different types of movies. Ask me if I like horror films. Horror, like scary movies. Kyle, do you like horror films? No, I don't. I don't like horror films. Do you like horror films? Maybe you do. A lot of people like them. I don't like horror films. I don't like scary movies. I like funny movies. I like historical movies. I like action movies. But I don't like horror movies. The word movie is a bit more common in American English, whereas film is more common in Europe. Movie is the word associated with películas made in Hollywood. Hollywood movies. So I think of Hollywood movies as being, well, yes, a certain style, mainstream, with popular actors, whereas films are often more artistic. We have film festivals. They're typically more artistic and maybe not quite as big a budget as the Hollywood movies. But really it means the same thing, movie and film, película. But we typically, because the word movie is used in the United States, we associate movie with that type of película. So Hollywood movies and European artistic films, I would say maybe Woody Allen, you could say, makes films, whereas Sylvester Stallone appears in movies, shooting a gun and fighting and these sorts of action things, typically movies. So movies and films, what's playing? Okay, so the world of entertainment, we'll talk about this more. There's lots more to say about this and more vocabulary. We'll talk about it in the next class, but I'm completely out of time. So thank you for listening. I'll be back in a few minutes with the intermediate class. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.